times where we thought maybe the band was drawing to an end, or where there was nobody to release our album. And it wasn't, I don't know, I didn't see myself being in my 30s and for the band to start picking up speed. And that's kind of what's happening. So I think if I were to compare this to kind of a long relationship that was successful, I'd say the key to longevity would be to completely ignore each other as often as you can.
Wow.
Except when things are going really well.
That sounds like terrible relationship
Oh, I'm
advice.
terrible in relationships.
Okay.
But the band has worked for 9 years. So
Yeah.
maybe that's why my relationships don't go so well.
Well,
My dedication, my insane devotion to the band.
Okay, so the next 9 years. In 9 years later, so that's a total of 18 years, right? Okay. Sorry, I love math.
We could have had
What is it gonna
a
be?
child and raised an adult by then.
Yeah.
Well, I always, everybody
Wait, you and me?
loves. Well, I meant like the band would be an 18-year-old child, but
Okay.
that's
you
interesting
are
way
of
think.
childbearing age, Sam. I'm not really into the idea of me having a kid, but if you wanted to like pool our DNA and find a surrogate, and if your family has the money to do that, like I could understand you wanting some of my genetic material, and I'm down for it. I mean, I'm half Mexican, so it'd be like a quarter
You're half Mexican?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Little like.
Do you tan?
Yeah. If I get some time in the sun, but I'm in the van all day long.
Okay.
If we get a sun ray
We'd have
from the
some
van.
pretty dark babies then, because I tan pretty well.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, look at me. Look at this.
It's totally not
He's
true.
really
You
selling
birds.
this. It's
Yeah.
But anyways, back
I
to
never
it.
even
Not-
wanted babies, and now all of a sudden I have this 25-year-old life partner and an
Yeah.
adult 18-year-old
He's obviously not
Mexican
rolling.
ginger child.
Honey, pump the brakes. I just had an incredible idea. Can you see this? The Los Angeles Lakers hat. What if that was an actual, like, it was the Lakers hat, right? And then the sombrero. You feel me?
I think we should market that because being in a band makes you really broke.
And then just sell it, but with your name on it, the band name. You follow me on this? Yes.
Say a giant dog.
Yes.
LA Lakers, a giant dog. Do you do any design work?
I do.
Okay, I think you should get on that.
Okay.
What were we talking about?
I am.
You said
well,
what inspires
I'm-
the lyrics.
Yeah. What inspires the lyrics is also a huge, just big question.
Well, I really like that question because within our band, and this isn't talked about a lot, but typically Andrew is more of the composer, and I get to do the lyrics and do what I want
I
with
noticed that. I really did notice that it seemed like you were the one writing the lyrics.
I care a lot about the lyrics, and we went, over the course of almost a decade, we went from being this punk band who was recording in a garage and getting fucked up 12 hours a day together, very insular, to being adults with life experiences. It used to be like Andrew saying, oh, the lyrics don't matter that much. We've developed over time to where I feel like he has more patience with me caring a lot about the puzzle that the lyrics can put together. You say you like math, and I do consider it somewhat of a mix between a mathematical and a creative situation, putting together the lyrics, because when he comes to me with a composition, there's a certain meter, there's a certain amount of syllables, and I have to fit my ideas into it, and I do like to work with rhyme and make it rhyme. I believe that everything I say should have meaning to me or to someone who might hear it, because I might have to sing it for the rest of my life. And this recent album, Toy, or the one that we're putting out in August, is the one that I feel I'm meant every word on and am most proud of.
So tell me about the new album that's coming out.
The new album's gonna deal with, meeting the edge of your sanity and trying to hold on for dear life to what we consider rationality, and to hold your place in society when you're really struggling. People like to be really private when they struggle with mental health. It's always been considered embarrassing, and we've gone over the last, 100 years, 70 years from hiding away people with mental illness, like literally hiding them as a different portion of society, to us having to assimilate ourselves and support ourselves and take care of ourselves.
Are you saying you're mental then?
Well, yeah.
Yeah. No,
I think that a lot of artists have vulnerabilities, and that's why when I said it takes an insane devotion to make a career in art, it also takes just like this level of insanity, like sheer insanity of it's like seeing this rock wall, this cliff that's completely vertical, and saying, I'm gonna climb that. I see people falling off and dying, but honestly, like, I could go float the river, but I really want to climb that rock wall. Like, why not? And your parents are like, yeah, honey, you should climb the rock wall.
Or when people, I think that a professor I had was talking about like nonprofit work. It's like anything in the arts or nonprofits, all the same way. It takes a little bit of insanity to start something where, you know, it's just it's just something inside of you that wants you to do it, even though it might not.
Yeah,
compulsion. An artist that, what I've always said is that an artist that doesn't have an outlet, those are murderers.
Yeah, for sure.
Like if
they get sick.
Yeah, and so
it ferments up inside.
It's kind of the same thing with food. Is you need food, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, artists need to really, you know, and I think that's everybody. I mean, people have different, you know, degrees.
Mm-hmm.
What would your degree be?
Well, of needing. Well, I need food very badly, but my degree would be in animal. I'm a master of animal. I'm an animal master's PhD. Animal.
Do you like cows?
I like cows enough to not eat them anymore.
So you're vegan?
No.
Vegetarian?
You're like, you said I'm cute. Does that mean you're in love with me and we're gonna have a baby?
Yeah,
you don't eat cow meat. You're vegan. I wanted to talk about the nonprofit thing, the devotion of being like a nonprofit worker versus like being an artist. Sometimes as an artist, I have guilt because, yes, it's the same kind of sentiment, the same kind of bleeding heart that makes you want to do that kind of work, but I feel like people who work in nonprofit are, wow, they care about other people and they're helping other people, whereas I don't say this about every artist, but I'm going to say this about myself and most artists. It's a very egocentric field that often I think is spawned out of self-loathing, which is a form of self-obsession, and the artist uses themselves. They tap themselves as like this resource, and they use their blood and whatever, like hard coal and diamonds and whatever has been made inside of their mind. They use that as a resource. So you're just like digging inside of yourself constantly. It's almost a little bit violent and voyeuristic, I think. And sometimes I have struggled and thought I could do something more valuable to others with my life, less selfish. But to be honest, people do come up to me sometimes and they have the courage to say, look, I had a really hard year. I didn't know if I was going to make it through this month or this year. I struggle with mental health, I struggle with depression. And then they use stuff like punk rock and heavy rock and roll and really intense rock. They need that to get through their struggle. So knowing that makes me feel more of a sense of purpose.
Well, yeah, I mean, would you say that your lyrics have a sort of nihilism to them?
Definitely, yeah.
But ultimately, do you believe there is a purpose to music in general? It sounds like what you're saying. I mean, if you believe in art, do you believe?
I think that, you know, they say people are made up of like 80% water, and that makes us all really similar in such a base way. And I think that it's the rare human that says, I don't like music, you know, like you know, Miss America is going to be interviewed and say, I love music, and some starving person in a third world country is going to say, I love music, and then people who work in factories before the age of robots, they were using the musicality, like the rhythm of the factory machines, and they were singing together. Music didn't used to be a trade that was just for the select few insane people. It used to be kind of a fiber that connected everybody, and I think it still is. Yeah, I think you're right.
Maybe not as much. I don't.
There's an ocean of sweaty people standing in front of the stage suffering.
You can see that from where you are positioned. You can see that people are loving what you do. I mean, I saw that. It's people are really identify with your lyrics and just kind of the honesty of it, I feel. So, okay, tell us about the new album, and we're going to promote it as much as we can. Where can people find it if they want to purchase it?
It's going to be out August 25th on Merge Records. It's going to be in record stores. It's going to be on iTunes.
Vinyl?
Yeah, it'll be on vinyl. So, yeah, that'll be called Toy. It's our 4th album. And Andrew produced it.
Very nice.
And Stuart Sykes engineered it. If you look him up, he is an engineer who has
How big of a role do they have?
And, pretty big. I mean, the engineer's going to decide just like the quality of your sound.
Yeah.
You know, the equipment used to record it. The room is an important thing. And he has the skills that we don't have.
Yeah.
And then Andrew, who's like the guy who stands stage left of me.
Not the redhead.
The not redhead.
Okay.
The dark, mysterious one who also writes the music. He produced, and the producer is really important. They're like the film, like the director of a film, you know, they decide the aesthetic, they decide subtleties of choice, and they decide which takes to throw away, which takes to use, where to put.
However, you're like the president, right? You can veto things, right?
Man, what am I? I can veto things, that's for sure, but
all these questions, they're just so
I want to be
big.
like the RuPaul.
The who?
Oh yeah, y'all are in your 20s. RuPaul. I didn't mean that to be disrespectful. It's just growing up, RuPaul was like a drag queen, a drag performer on VH1.
Yeah.
And she would run the show, and that's what I want to be.
Well, it seems like you too. I would love. We both love.
I could sweat in this van and talk to you all day.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, then you could go on tour with the giant dog because we don't have any air conditioning in this van.
Where's it next? Stop.
Yeah, if you're ever in Kansas City, that's where we're based out of, is Kansas City.
Oh, really? We go there every tour, and that's where we're going next. And
Really?
That's like our New Orleans. That's like our little debaucherous hub of punk rock, where
Wait.
we've known the same people for decades.
Is this like tomorrow you're going there?
Let me consult the calendar.
Find out.
Yes. Well, also
We're gonna try to get this on there before,
I would like to know
before you guys go to
got
Kansas.
how to. Yeah, we're gonna do like.
Yeah, Kansas City tomorrow
Tomorrow. We're gonna. What time?
at night.
Okay. We'll be back. by then.
Really?
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Okay, sweet. It'll be at the Blind Tiger.
I know where the Blind
And we
Tiger
probably
is.
play like at 11, pretty late. So
That's awesome.
yeah,
We'll see you there.
cool.
So okay, your
It's kind
name.
of a home base for us.
How did you guys get your name?
Okay, so Andrew, I talk a lot about Andrew. He's my writing partner, and performance partner. He really loved, which story do I tell? Okay, I'll tell this one. Okay, he and I really loved the movie Neverending Story, and we always thought that like if we wanted to start a band, we'd call it Atreyu because that's the coolest character. He's like, I don't know if y'all have seen this because of the Neverending Story is
I've
worth
seen
a
it,
watch.
yeah, I've seen it.
So Atreyu's like the Native American kid that's riding on a horse and helps with this everything, and you find out he's actually the parallel version of Bastion. But anyway, we wanted to call our band Atreyu, but there's this really good pop punk band, I think might even be a Christian pop punk band, called Atreyu from the early 2000s, and they rock so hard. We didn't want to compete with that, so we decided to name ourselves after the giant dog Falcor.
That's super
A giant
cool.
dog. Yeah.
I've
A
heard
giant
of
dog
Atreyu.
Falcor.
I like Atreyu.
Yeah,
Is
they're
that
so
an
good.
influence? Is that like
No.
related? Yeah.
We just don't want to compete with like another band that's super badass, so we weren't going to call ourselves Atreyu, we weren't going to call ourselves Sabbath.
Cool.
Black
Well,
Sabbath? I want to talk about influences. Sorry.
joke.
I want to.
But yeah, Sabbath is an influence. The interesting thing about influences, it's like the equivalent of somebody coming up to you.
and saying what made you the person you are.
Yeah,
right now.
exactly. Like you've been collecting this information from
Let me
other
narrow it
people's
down
music for like 30 years of our lives.
So let's ask an easier question. What do you like right now?
What do I like right now? Oh man, that's not an easy question, but it's also an easy question. But
Yeah. Do you like Incubus?
no.
Okay. Do you like?
I mean, I don't dislike them. I
Kanye
definitely
West.
used to like them. Yeah. I
Okay.
like Kanye. Okay, so that is actually a really hard question too. I feel like suddenly put on the spot. It's like it's like when somebody, like when you're in a relationship and you love food and you love every type of food and you have no problem thinking about it, but then your boyfriend or girlfriend is just like, what do you want to eat tonight? And you're just like, shut up, why can't you decide? Like, you're gonna make me hangry. Okay, but if I had to just pick, like, right now, stream of consciousness, like, spur of the moment reaction, top 5 bands that I think...
The other ones aren't gonna be insulted.
That I think won't insult anybody else in the band. Okay, so it's gonna be like, in no order, we're gonna say Electric Light Orchestra, Black Sabbath, James Brown, Etta James, and let's throw a wild card in there and say this band, whoever's playing. No, seriously, like, what are your influences? Like, though it's just such a hard question, and one time I even, smart-ass wise, like, I think I made a list of influences on my phone, but I don't know if I still have it. Let me ask you this, do people around you influence you more, or do, like, honestly, I feel like people around me influence my taste in music, you know, like almost every day I'm turned on to something new, and I can be just as inspired by like last night, for instance, it was a 2-piece band where the girl was singing off key, but her lyrics were so good and the guitar player was so good that the performance influenced my ideas about music. I sound like a fucking art school snob right now. Let me just quickly read this out.
It's actually really good.
The Buzzcocks, Sparks, oh God, they're so important to us. Because it's like this 2 brothers who have worked together their whole lives, kind of like me and Andrew. So, yeah, influences are important. So, the Buzzcocks, Sparks, Rolling Stones, the Velvet Underground, of course, and you feel almost stupid saying that, because like, who have they not influenced? Patti Smith, The Cars, The Clash, very much so. Cheap Trick, I love them, their live sound, oh, it's better than their recorded sound. The Pixies are one of my, Pixies are one of my favorite bands, and I almost feel like saying that is silly, like cliche, like, duh, of course I like the Pixies. You can hear that when you hear a giant dog. But, you know, everyone likes the Beatles also, and I feel like if you don't listen to the Pixies and the Beatles and you're one of those people who's like, both of those bands suck, maybe you're limiting yourself. I don't know. The Damned, yeah, people say that we're influenced by them a lot. Iggy Pop, performance style-wise, his level of intellect, his level of devotion to art, his blood, sweat vibe, yes. The Kinks, yeah, I've been listening to them forever. Madonna, so cool. The Pretenders, I actually got to sing backing vocals for Chrissy Hynde one night in Austin for an awards presentation. I'm so glad I looked this up. This is like a gold mine. Otis Redding, fuck yeah. He's one of the best writers of all time. Sam Cooke, Aretha
Franklin?
Yeah, she's the best singer of all time. And I recently started listening to Morrissey again. And became celibate. Sorry, Sam.